What is up, dude?
Uh, same old, same old. Riots in the streets, burning of the buildings.
Nice.
Another
Have they
day in
burnt?
Milwaukee.
Have they burnt your building yet?
Not yet. Uh,
That's good.
they get close, but you know.
Are you guys that close to downtown?
Yeah, I'm on 27th, so
Right on. Oh yeah.
um,
They haven't knocked out power or some shit like that, have they? I mean, obviously not
no.
right now, but
I'm lucky because they just are destroying their own section of their own shitty neighborhood, so they're really putting it to them. I will never understand that. Like, I could get it if they all got pissed off and then went and, like, threw shit at the police building, but they just stayed in their own neighborhood and set fire to their own stores. So now they just have to go further to get weaves and gas.
okay. I mean, for
That,
sure gonna edit that out. But
that's what they attacked. If it was something different, I would say something different. But they attacked a hair extension store, and a gas station and an auto parts store, and then set fire to three other just surrounding buildings that were mostly homes. A bank got busted up, so that's now closed. But yeah, then they went downtown and protested in front of Domino's until that got broken up. Um, and then they're setting fire to cop cars. So I mean, there's that. It's working out well. Now we got the National Guard, so I have to stay inside after dark.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. Yeah, loving my city. Need
I
to
don't. Yeah.
bail on this real quick.
I went camping over the weekend and then got back and everything was fucking terrible.
Yep. Yep, it's real bad. I I didn't really have a whole lot of problem with it in the beginning because it's like whatever, get pissed off and throw riots and break shit, but they are now told white people to stay inside because the group that keeps going out at night has said that they are going to attempt to murder and beat just white people, which is awesome because doesn't make any sense, but whatever. I can't go outside now.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. Glad I live downtown. But I got a second GTX 970, so I really wasn't gonna go anywhere anyways. As long as my
So
internet
many
stays
questions.
on, and as long as I can keep playing video games, I guess I'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If they told me that I couldn't go out at night, I wouldn't be too fucking upset.
Oh, dang it. The worst part was I had to go grocery shopping because I was legitimately out of food. And because I keep being told that it's a bad idea to go to Chipotle at fucking 9:30 at night across the street from the protests, that I decided not to do that tonight. And I went to the grocery store and it was just full of white people at 5 o'clock trying to get the groceries before the goddamn purge start.
Oh, I'm
So
sure.
and
I'm
it
sure
was.
that's exactly what it fucking looked like.
I was like, what is it? Like, what is it? I go to the same grocery store all the time, the one right by the shop. I was like, what is fucking happening? Like, is it payday? Like, it is payday. It's the 15th, so maybe that was it. But I don't think so, because that's the widest that grocery store has ever been, and there was lines. They had everything open, and people were just racking up food because they thought, okay,
Just
one day,
shopping like it's fucking
yeah,
Y2K.
dude, they like one day it was gonna be bad. Like,
Nice.
okay, the night of we got it, there was rioting, completely undeserved, but still rioting, and that's fine. That seems to be par for the course now. So people just kind of stayed inside. And then last night was worse. And to show how aggravated they were, one protester shot another protester.
What
Because
what purpose does that serve?
I don't know. Same purpose as beating up white people when a black cop shoots a black kid or 23-year-old, whatever he was. Like, I don't know how that was our fault this time. Like, this is the one time we'd be like, not our fault. Fucking our fault. God damn it. Damn my white privilege. But that fucking... It has gotten so fucking out of hand that it's impossible to even see. Where normally I try to see the light and like, well, impoverished area, you know, yeah, this guy did something wrong, but what was the original purpose for the stop? And you try to see the angles, but then fucking I can't go outside because somehow it's my fault. Lost my shit. So, I decided to do conspiracy theory shit because that makes me feel better when I get to watch really dumb people get mad about really dumb things, and especially when they get them wrong. That makes me happy. So I tried to go through today, and you know it's really hard to find conspiracy theories that were proven wrong on the internet.
What do you mean?
Like, if you look up conspiracy theories that turned out to be true, you get a million hits. Type in conspiracy theories that turned out to be false, you get crickets. Nothing there. Like, you have to really dig to find where someone, and even if they were proven wrong, there's still a ton of people that just don't believe it. So it doesn't. Every time you're like, oh, well, this is why this wasn't the case. There's 5 videos and 2 news articles written by somebody that's like, that doesn't prove anything. So you can never prove one wrong, but you can prove them right, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Super
That makes
easy.
sense. I understand what you're saying now.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't prove it
Yeah.
wrong. They'll just stick their fingers in their ears and la la la.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, you just don't know. What do you think the biggest conspiracy theory of our known time? It could have been before we were alive, or I almost said after, but
I imagine JFK is pretty big.
JFK's got to be big. Moon landing, way up there.
Moon landing, definitely. 9/11.
Yeah.
God, what would be another big one?
I feel like there's always one happening. But those three are like top of the list every time you talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
There's going to be the crazy one, flat Earth, right? That's going to be up there.
Yeah, I guess. I don't want to include them in anything because that's there's proof. This may sound crazy, but like the JFK assassination, the moon landing, and 9/11 all have so many fucking spinning pieces, so many moving parts that something could have been a conspiracy, but the earth is still fucking round because it's just round. So I think those are just fucking idiots. Like, those aren't conspiracy theorists. I think that they're like the Down syndrome cousin of a conspiracy theory. So yeah, and the earth is flat too. And the conspiracy theory is like, well, I mean, just ignore him. But like, for real though, like, check this. I don't know. Flat earthers are fucking retards. Excuse my language.
They're definitely a special breed, but I don't believe that they are without some serious competition when it comes to conspiracy theories. I mean, there's some bad ones. And I didn't include them. I didn't include flat Earth in the debunked list or the ones that turned out to be true list because the debunking almost comes down to it because it's common sense that most of the time people won't debate it. So like there's a video where a crew for an airliner are sitting eating and like a guy goes up and tries to like grill them on it and they just laugh in his face. And they're like, look out the window. You can see like they're on a transcontinental flight. Like once you get like especially if you're doing Well, yeah, if you're doing a transcontinental, if you're flying over the ocean and you get that high up there and you get a nice clear day, you can see the curvature. And they're like, just wait a minute. Like, we're not going to give you proof. Just board the flight, sir. Take your window seat and wait. So that one didn't make the list. Some of the ones that made the list, I want to read them off, and then I'm just going to list a name, and I'm going to kind of see if I can juggle them up here. And I want you to just guess if they turned out to be true or false. And these are, I already know it. Like the false ones, people are going to be like, that's fucking true. And the true ones are going to go, told you. Excuse me. So we'll start. Famous ones. The moon landing. We're going to talk about that one today. We're going to talk about a very small part of the 9/11 one because it's way too big to even fuck with, and I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
But the big one that always gets stirred up is that jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
Sure.
Okay. Flight 93, out of that same time frame, but was accused to have not left a crater any larger than what would have been left by a missile is the big thing, and that there was no debris. So that's a conspiracy. False flag operations during the JFK administration, CIA mind control, wah 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 wah. CIA control of the journalism here in America. A lot of these are CIA way the buy.
Oh, I'm sure.
The Reagan administration with the CIA sold and traded cocaine to fund the Contra.
Yeah, that's true as fuck.
CIA
sure.
heart attack gun. Pew pew.
Fuck. A heart attack gun.
A U.S. Air Force sponsored gay bomb that would turn soldiers so gay for each other that they wouldn't be able to fight because of all the wiener bombs they were taking to the mouth holes.
So just a bomb full of MDMT?
Just
Or MDMA? Sorry, MDMT.
just disco balls like popping in the air. Cher playing in the background. Just go insert stereotypical gay male thing here. Do you know who James Amazing Randy was?
James Amazing Randy?
Yeah, I want you should throw that in the old Google search for here in a minute. And then psychics. More importantly, mediums.
Okay.
And then one that's not really a conspiracy theory, but I kind of ran up on it and watched some really interesting videos. So we'll do the Indian tech scammers. Are they real?
Word.
All right. If you could guess the least true.
The least true? Fucking there.
It'll decide what list we start with.
The least true. I'd like to think that the Air Force sponsored gay bomb is the least true, but I just have this fucking feeling that it's not.
Oh, well, we're going with it, buddy. Your Air Force sponsored gay bomb, true. 100% true. Now, it's only true in conceptual theory, but they did sponsor $17 million bill, or not bill, but grant to, you're going to like this one too, your ancestors, the Wright Lab. Way back. How far ago do you think this was that they thought they could make a bomb that made people gay?
Ooh, had to have been after World War II, so probably like shortly after World War II.
Ooh, how shortly?
Korea?
How about we had invaded Iraq the first time?
Wow, really? 80s?
1994.
94.
94, dude.
Wow, that's depressing. That's fucking stupid.
It's 22 years ago that we sponsored Wright Labs with a $7.5 million grant to pursue non-lethal tactics. And
no relation to me, by the way.
Oh, for sure relation to
Just-
you. And the outcome turned out to be that their idea of creating a non-lethal weapon had to deal with a bad breath bomb.
Yeah, it's a fucking halitosis bomb.
Yeah,
Come
the
on.
gay bomb, God, I didn't write them all down, but they're all equally bad. They're just, they're asinine. Like they were gag gifts. Like these people took $7.5 million, and they wrote shit down on a piece of paper that they knew would not get approved, and then stood straight faced in front of Congress and pitched this shit, paid for by the United States Air Force. Go blue.
Yeah, go. Yeah, I mean, I wish I joined the Air Force.
The fucking fabulous bomb. So yeah, 1994. Man, that was the one. That's why this thing made the list.
And evidently, this research Wright Laboratories in Ohio was named after the Wright brothers and just became part of the Air Force in 1997.
They were like, good job.
Merged into the Air Force Research Laboratory.
You were that close, guys.
Yeah.
We like what you're doing.
Fuck, they're probably still working on it. But they are.
Oh. The
How
shit
fucking
that we
ridiculous.
pay for. I mean, those are tax dollars paying for that. Anyways, what that kicked us off on, thank you for that, is conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. These are now either open to the public, like in a couple of these instances, a president has apologized for what's happened, and in a couple of the incidences, the Freedom of Information Act has uncovered a lot of the documents. In all of these incidences, yeah, no one was charged. So no one went to jail for anything on this list. So we get upset when
Thank you.
if you believe that Hillary Clinton did something wrong, you get mad that she's not getting charged for it. Whether she did
Sure.
or didn't, you get mad if you believe it. It turns out no one ever gets in trouble for anything in the government, so it's not that out of the realm that she, like, if she did something wrong, that she's gonna go free or whatever. Like it just not is not in the best interest of the government to persecute its own.
That's such a weird, like, if they got a DUI, they would have gotten in trouble, but instead they did something like, I don't know. Go ahead. I'll submit my opinion here after
Just after the first one.
Yeah, probably.
So, CIA mind control was a huge conspiracy theory back in the 60s and 70s. People were convinced that the CIA was attempting mind control. And in 1995, it turned out to be true. And President Bill Clinton issued an apology to everyone that was affected. The CIA from 1950 to 73 ran a program called MK Ultra. This is no longer speculatory. It's all been released. Most of the documents of what actually went on were destroyed, so no one was prosecuted. But they used verbal and sexual abuse, drugs, and electrotherapy to...
That's when LSD was
Yep.
super prominent, right?
And they were trying to create mindless zombie soldiers or sleeper agents. And so they were getting people out of prisons, mental hospitals, all this shit, and just torturing them. Absolutely insane, right? This isn't us. This is some barbaric world. But no, it was the 50s to the 70s, and no fucks were given at the CIA.
20 years. How fucking crazy is that?
Oh, yeah. 23 years it went on. It's not like, oh, yeah, we tried it on 3 people. There was thousands of documented cases.
Holy shit. Reading this Wikipedia ad so fucking... That's so weird. illogical thinking, impulsiveness to the point where the recipient would be discredited in public. Oh, just like make people crazy.
Yeah, I guess feeding them LSD and raping them constantly will do that.
Yeah,
How?
I
Okay.
feel like one or the other would have worked just fucking fine.
Who answered the call? What CIA board meeting happened where they were like, all right, guys, we got a new assignment. Somebody's got to rape a bunch of prisoners. And everybody was like, Johnson, dude, for sure you, right, man? Like, we've been burying your rapist shit for years. Like, this is right up your alley. And he's like, oh, I don't know. If you're going to pay me to do it, I don't think it'll be any fun.
What a fucking crazy thought, dude. What? Man. And like that's that shit. It's like, well, he was just doing his job. He
Yep.
wasn't a bad guy. They weren't bad people. They're just doing their job. It's so fucking crazy. Like, at what point in time do individuals need to be held accountable?
But we talked
For their
about we
actions.
talked about it the other week when they're going back now and prosecuting 90-year-old Nazis. It like is it going to come out in another 30 years and they're going to find this dude and he's going to be some little old man with his grandkids and going to be like, "Yeah, but he raped a ton of people." They're going to be, it was in the 70s. Like, he was just doing his job. Like, that kind of, I think if you give enough time, people are going to say that. They're going to say, because, I mean, we kind of do it with the Nazi thing now. We just talked about it. Like, did he have a choice? I mean, I don't think in the CIA it was probably as Nazi Germany-ish, where they were, like, murdering people's families until people did what they wanted. But who knows? They were drugging people and raping them.
Yeah. Still really fucking terrible.
That's our government,
I don't
buddy.
know. Hopefully somebody gets fucked for that, and I don't care when it happens, because that's
It's-
completely unreasonable.
It's insane though. It was 22 years. The project ran for 23 years, and it took him another 22 years to admit it and admit that it happened. 22 years after the last known MK Ultra project, the thing still ran for 23 years, longer than it took him to release it.
Wow.
That's entire careers. Someone was hired at MK Ultra and then retired with a pension, and his entire job was like testicle shock technician or something. That's crazy, right? Somebody earned a pension off MK Ultra. Pwah.
Fucking nuts, man.
Yep. So I wanted to start super dig down deep, horrible with our country, and started with the mind control. This next one kind of falls in line with how a lot of people view the 9/11 thing, which would be a like a false flag initiative.
What defines a false flag initiative?
That is the United States or any government attacking their own citizens and blaming it on another entity.
Oh, okay. All right. I understand now.
So the big thing that people scream about with the 9/11 false flag initiative is that it could be true because we've done it before.
Yeah.
And the big known version of this was during the JFK administration. And there was a proposal. Now, this big one was shut down. We don't know how much of the small side of it continued. But while we were at a Cold War with Cuba, we were going to shoot down a plane full of college students
Yeah.
and blame it on them. And then there was going to be mass shootings in D.C. and Miami to spark outrage high enough that Congress would grant us permission to go take Cuba. All right?
Yeah. I didn't hear about the mass shootings being planned, but I did hear about the plane planning on shooting the plane down.
That one became real famous after 9/11 because they said they've already planned it. Like, this has already been planned before. All they did was reopen the book and decided to actually do it this time. JFK shot the idea down. He said he's not. There's no way that they were going to kill Americans, right? So it never went through, never came to fruition. But it went through enough people's desks that they formed a packet and had to present it with the idea to kill presumably a few hundred American citizens to be allowed to invade a country.
Jesus Christ.
A different person in that White House, which inevitably happened thanks to his assassination, this could have been passed. So what's not to say that he said no and that some other initiative almost equally as bad, obviously that not that same one happened, but someone else didn't sign off on. Or if that wasn't their plan. Like, this thing sparks a whole nother realm of conspiracy theories. Because if he told the CIA no, like, what if they just, like, well, fuck
Killed
that guy.
him instead?
Yeah, they just kill him and blame that guy, and then we'll get it passed next time. And then the Cold War ended. So, who knows? But that one turned out to be true. There is an actual packet that had to be reviewed and was shut down for a false flag initiative during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
That is so fucking crazy. I wish I remembered a lot more about Kennedy than I did, or than I do, rather.
Yeah. He had life-changing speeches, and they get misquoted so much that you don't take away. The Kennedy speech asks not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Yeah.
Is actually a snippet out of an entire speech where he reveals a secret hidden government that runs everything in our country. And no one remembers that.
Well, okay. So is this the next conspiracy theory, or is this?
It's not. This is just tidbit off the top of my brain here. If you bring up the entire speech, he talks about that we cannot allow secret societies behind the scenes to run our government with basically no regard for elected officials.
Now, who would that be? So that is something that.
Hey, people say that he was just ousting the Illuminati, but more than likely it's like banking firms and
So is he giving the presidential speech of, I'm not taking money from people with lots of money?
hey, he was
And
already in
then-
office.
Like, have they been saying the same stupid shit?
Maybe. I mean, his
Forever?
deal didn't go with money. It was this almost like a please wake up America. I've come into office and now I realize like we are in
Okay.
trouble. And then
Because it's his
Good
inaugural address, so it's
Mhm.
when he came into office.
right. Already been elected.
Wow. Yep. Sorry, shouldn't be fucking reading president speeches while trying to do a podcast.
You should go online and listen to the whole thing. The whole thing kind of changes the entire narrative. Like, that's a very powerful statement, but when you take it out, it really gets used as like a patriotic, like, nah. But
Yeah.
when you put it with the rest of the speech, it's almost conspiracy theory. Like, it's almost him saying, you shouldn't be relying on these people because they are corrupt and shitty. Like, they're a secret organization. You're skull and crossbones, 5 families that rule the world, type stuff.
Yeah.
And then they hack it all up so you don't hear any of that. But sure, we'll throw that's a little JFK extra, a little extra nibble for you there at home.
A dude's whole presidency is such a weird.
Sure it is.
Everything's so strange.
More CIA operations. CIA Operation Mockingbird. After a while, you're going to realize that anytime they say the CIA is doing something, you should probably just believe it. CIA Operation Mockingbird. It was a reel uncovered by independent journalists after a lot of time, but this was, I believe, during Vietnam when they were trying to drum good publicity for the war.
Yeah.
The CIA started putting journalists on payroll. They have confirmed journalists paid from ABC, NBC, CBS, Time Warner, Newsweek, and Copley News Service, who I believe went out of business a long, long time ago. I haven't heard of them ever.
Copley News Service?
Yeah, Copley News Service.
Yeah, no fucking idea.
Yep. And it was Time Magazine. Sorry, I said Time Warner. I don't know if that's the same people. It was Time Magazine.
Copley News. Looks like they're still around.
Really?
Yeah.
Turns out they own everyone. At the highest point reported, they had thousands of planted operatives and, like I said, journalists from every one of those, at least those organizations on payroll.
That's fucking nuts. Baby.
So the next time that you get the idea that you're being lied to by your news media, I mean, it's just the CIA. So
yeah. Yeah. They're not lying. They're just telling what they're being told.
yeah, they're telling their version of the truth. With everything that happens, especially now in the media, and Trump's a big, like, they're crooked. Every time they say something bad about him, they're crooked, and like he throws that out there. But it's hard not to believe him at some point because of things like this. So I don't know if he knows about these things and he's playing on them, or if he's just randomly striking gold like that lovable idiot that we believe him to be. But
He is a fucking idiot, that's for sure.
a lot of people believe that the news media is corrupt because of things like this. I mean, this was exposed for being a real big deal back in the old day.
That's interesting. Man, I mean, I guess I wouldn't be surprised if it was still going on, but I think being money hungry has become the fucking corruption that is wrong with news companies.
I wonder if the CIA could drum up enough cash now to buy these people. In the 70s, how much were they worth?
Yeah, true.
What is Viacom worth now?
Oh,
Can the
fucking little bit.
government truly purchase Viacom? I say that, and then I see reports that there's trillions of dollars missing out of the defense budget. So I bet you trillions would do it.
Sales for the year were about 1.4 billion with profits of 369 million.
For Viacom?
Yeah.
I would have thought they were
by
higher.
1989.
Oh.
Yeah, that was 1989. So they
Yeah.
were worth a
Yeah,
lot.
so that's not that much. That could be bought. $3.5 billion with $300 million in profit. Is that what you said?
$369 million of
Okay,
profit.
so
yeah.
370 million. You're telling me they couldn't have drummed up another 300 million to slide somebody? That's not much.
Yeah, not even.
What would 2015 profit be?
Shit, I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Doesn't
know
pop
where to
up.
find that information either, so I don't want to spend
Yeah,
too much time
that's true.
looking for this.
I'm assuming that it's gone up substantially since
Yeah, no doubt.
70s and 80s. So I bet it would be quite a bit harder to have that type of petty cash laying around.
But I mean, you're not. If you're just paying for one story, then it's going to be cheaper. Like, instead of having them in your pocket for forever or whatever, or like the year, you could just pay for one story and then have the journalist sign a non-disclosure agreement.
You don't think that some small-time journalist would somehow stumble across this now? Because now we got RT, which is extremely popular on the internet. There's a ton of independent news organizations that would get such a huge payday if they could expose it.
If they could expose that somebody was getting paid for?
Getting paid to plant news stories for the government. Like
Yeah.
the Bernie thing. How fast did the Bernie thing get? Now, true, it might have gotten suppressed by the news media, which is 100%, right? Things get suppressed and I believe that they can pay to influence the big names not to report it, but it still came out. Everything about this election that has been tried to be kept secret has come out. So
it's money on either end, right?
Right,
It's just
so
those idiots on either side putting money into the fucking news media that's in the middle, and then just trying to spit in each other's mouths the entire time.
And I think that eventually some of that money trickles down to where somebody that has almost nothing, is some struggling reporters like, I'll do it. I'll get on every Fox News station, that'll if they're against whatever other media source, or MSNBC will have some smaller guy that'll uncover something about Fox bearing something on Trump. I think somebody would blow the whistle now. It's the days of the internet. Back then it was read this story and this is the news.
Yeah.
No one can fact check you. I mean, how would you?
Shit. People can fact check now and they still fucking decide not to, so it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what's true or false, because people just believe whatever the fuck they want to believe anyways. That the news could literally just make shit up. And there would be a group that was like, well, they're just making that up. And then the other group was like, nope, this is the proof.
Today the world ended.
Yeah. Oh my God. What are we going to do? Fuck. This sucks. This no world thing is terrible.
I got a good picture I need to put on. So last night when I went for my burrito, with all the shit that's happening around Milwaukee, I was like, it's probably not that bad, right? Like, it's probably just the news media sensationalizing 20 people that are acting a fool.
Sure.
And then I went downtown, and there was nobody. It was like empty streets, and I was like, that's weird. And I go down Highland, and I get my business. I still don't see anything, though. So I was like, people are just scared because of the news, and they stayed home. And I come back, and just fucking fire trucks and shit on fire off to the side. I was like, ugh.
So is it like super centralized, or were they all just in one little area?
There was most of the action happened. Oh God, what's the name of the cross street? I think it was North and I don't remember. It was on the north side of town, actually, which I don't know. I thought was odd, but
okay.
It was on the north side of town. Now, last night's protest started moving further south, and I think that's why I saw what it was downtown. But again, it wasn't. You don't see a lot of people. I saw like a group of kids on bicycles try to block the street, and if you just give them the death stare and zone out and keep driving, like they move. They're kids. Like they're not. There wasn't like the arm banding protests that you see like in Dallas where they shut down the interstates. It was just like kids, like for real kids that just got on their bicycle and they were like, we're gonna do what we saw on TV and try to block the road. And people just didn't stop. Like they just didn't stop. They just kept going. Kids scatter. It's like, all right. Like I'm not talking about like mowing them down, but like if you just don't look like you're gonna stop, they would pull off.
Just get the
road.
fuck out of the way.
Yeah, and then they would fill back in like they were doing something, but they're really just kids screwing around. I didn't see. I definitely Saturday when everybody was like, we're calling for calm in the city, and I went out to brunch to go get Bloody Marys. I saw a bunch of people riding bicycles and walking dogs and kayaking. Like most people didn't seem to give a shit. But then I don't know if the news reporting like that is what caused last night to get so bad. But last night went off the chains. Like people went purge mode, and I don't know why. It is shooting. Like I said, one protester shot another protester. It's like I think it's really just the purge. Like people just were like, oh, too many people are going to be fucking around. If you want to go do something tonight, you can go do it.
Jesus. You fucking get out there with the mask on and go get yourself a TV. Try to become like the head of the mob and get the crowd to like run to Best Buy. That's it. This should be used to get free shit, not to hurt each other. That's what people should do. People should just start taking shit in large groups. What the fuck are they gonna do about it?
Obviously, oh, well, I can't say obviously nothing. 17 people were arrested the first night, and I have no idea how many last night. So a bunch got arrested.
Out of how many though?
Oh, a few hundred. It
Yeah,
got pretty
I mean,
big.
your odds are pretty fucking good, right? Like
Yeah.
you could,
Especially if you don't stand around the street and yell about it.
right?
End up, oh, the ones. Can we admit that World Stars got to have bred the worst people in the world?
I couldn't even tell you.
You hear that like on half the videos. They're like, oh, that motherfucker's door's unlocked. Go beat his ass. And then they're like, World Star. It's like, what? When did that become the ward chant for
What
doing
the fuck
something
is
stupid?
World Star?
It's YouTube for people getting in fist fights.
Oh, okay, neat. Yeah.
I mean, basically, there's a couple other things on there, but it's mostly fights, like bum fights. Not bum fights, but you get the drift. Like backyard fighting, like the Kimbo Slice and shit like that.
Okay.
Rest in peace. He it was that type of videos. Whereas if you go to like Live Leak and you see Syrians offing each other just on fucking video, and you're like, wow, too much. And then you go to World Star, and that's like the middle ground of violence. Like you can't make it on YouTube, but it's not
Okay.
quite crazy enough for Live Leaks.
Gotcha. All right.
And anyways, all these bad fight videos always start with someone screaming, "World Star!" and then they start filming. Like, So, if it's gonna be a bad, if you're anywhere and you hear someone yell "World Star," book it. Just get the
Turn
fuck
around.
out of there. Yeah, yeah, you're about
Look
to get hit
behind
with
you.
You're about to get hit with a bottle, dude. It's about to
Fucking
rough.
stupid.
Yeah. So hopefully it calmed down tonight and that my pent-up rage gets relieved. I was really pissy about it, especially when I kept having to deal with the phone calls like you should go somewhere else. Like of course, I mean it's just people worried about me. It's my mom and Melanie. They're like, are you gonna be safe there? I am not going to move from my home because of ignorance. Not gonna do it. So I'll board up and play some video games, but
That's, I mean, that, wait, what? Never mind.
we got within.
Not leaving your home because of ignorance is ignorance.
It's kind
right?
of ignorance, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Going
if it's
to get
a
a Bloody
hurricane,
Mary when there's riots going on is fucking ignorant, right?
there was nobody there.
Real
I
fucking
got to
ignorant.
sit right down, and there was people all chattering about like, "Oh, I just wish they'd let us off," and I was like, "Another round, please." I rode my motorcycle here because it's the safest mode of transportation in Iraq.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nobody can knock me off of this. Doesn't matter.
You're just sticking fucking sticks in your spokes.
Yeah, I don't know. I got pissy about the whole thing. The whole thing got me in a little bit of a tissy. Because I don't want to be messed with in my own neighborhood. Like, no one gave a shit about me the day before. They'll come up to me, talk to me. I hang out in the garage. People stop by. I get along with everyone. I've never had a bad experience here. I've had some crazy fucking people come by, super coked out of their heads, and giving them my shoestrings so the guy can wear a belt so his asshole's not hanging out. But still, like, just a cool story to deal. But now, I can't do those things because that same dude is, according to the media and the videos that I've seen, is just going to kill me. It's like, oh, okay, dope. Anyways, got dragged back into the anger. Sorry. Shitty time to
Conspiracy
be in
theories do
Milwaukee.
that. That's
They'll
that
fucking do it.
fucking inner conspiracy theory. It just makes people angry. That's why
it just
everybody
bubbles
yells
out of me
about
every
it.
now and then.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about this one too much. We'll get over to the ones that turned out not to be true. But the CIA during the Reagan administration started selling and trading cocaine to fund the Contra.
Nice. Yeah.
I think pretty much everybody knew that one to be true now.
That is not fucking surprising at all to me.
The Congress ceased the funds going from our monies to them. They stopped it, and because of that, and the government said, well, the CIA and military officials all said, no, like we have to do it. Like, I know you voted against it, but we got to. So they actually started trading, buying, and selling cocaine to fund Contra forces. So, thanks, awesome cocaine epidemic.
Yeah.
that was the
Whose
CIA.
fault is that? And now we fucking stand around wondering how do we stop the foreigners from this terrible shit?
Well, you got to make America great again
Meanwhile,
and start selling cocaine.
I don't think they stopped. In my humble fucking opinion, I would be confident to say that they did not stop.
I should get a government discount then.
For real.
AIDS, probably not the government. Cocaine, for sure the government. Crack cocaine, for sure the government. How could we triple profits while using less product? Crack cocaine.
Makes sense.
That's government. Yeah, that's 100% government. I got one last thing, and this one's a doozy for the reels.
AIDS was shifty. Is that on your conspiracy theory list?
It's not, because there's no proof. Like,
I mean, proof is what we're looking for in a conspiracy theory.
for the true ones, like the ones that were found
okay.
true or
I
ones
gotcha.
to be found false. If they're right in the middle, I didn't include them. Which is why finding a false one is so fucking hard, because no matter what you do, it just rides in the middle. It's just, But that the AIDS conspiracy is it's almost not founded in any fact, but then when they say where it came from, it's almost not founded in any fact. Like, both sides are like, it came from monkeys, and they're like, it came from Ronald Reagan. Like, no one can figure out how it started or why it just blossomed.
Who was that comedian that? Fuck, I don't remember who it was, but they were like, "Can you imagine trying to fuck a chimpanzee?" Like there's no way, there's no fucking way.
So,
I guess unless you knocked it unconscious, but even then.
Then it probably was the government, because it was one of those CIA rapists after MK Ultra that just they started doing testing on monkeys with cocaine, and he was like, bonk. You gave me a medal for this 10 years ago. A little dark.
Yeah,
but,
real fucking dark.
There was a comedian that did God, I wish I could quote people like who actually said it, but it might have been George Carlin. I think it was, where he said, "You don't get to go back and forth. Like, once you've made the choice to fuck a monkey, you're not going home and just hooking up with normal dudes." Like, he's like, nobody's gonna be like, that's that dude that fucked a monkey. Like,
gross.
Last thing, it is another CIA one, because every true conspiracy theory that you can pretty much find has to do with the CIA. They created and had to answer for, but no one was prosecuted for, the CIA heart attack gun.
Nice.
This is a gun that is electronically powered, has a battery pack that shoots a small frozen water bullet with shellfish toxin. When striking someone in the heart, or a main vascular component, it causes a heart attack. And after the ice melts and everything goes away, it is indistinguishable, minus a small red dot where the impact was. But I guess it's a very small sliver. So any toxicology reports, any of that, would just be a heart attack.
So this thing shoots a piece of ice?
Yep. I don't know how small it has to be to not leave like an open wound, but it supposedly counted for thousands of murders committed by the CIA, assassinations.
So it shoots ice
laced with a shellfish toxin.
Laced with a shellfish toxin.
You could see the gun. The guy had to go before Congress. They showed the weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this fucking thing that has a scope on it. I can't imagine you could be... What are you doing with a scope on your pistol? If you're...
Is it the scope or is it the battery? I think the one I saw
maybe it's
had
the
a
battery.
cable coming off of it. I think it was the battery.
I mean, well, this one fucktard's looking through it.
Oh. Maybe it was the scope. I don't think you could be that far. I would assume that you had to be pretty close, because it's saying that it didn't leave.
Yeah, it's a scope.
It just left a red dot where the puncture wound was. But I'm thinking these guys probably walked up and gave somebody the old arm up through the rib cage.
Yeah. I don't. God damn, excuse me. I just couldn't see this. I mean, you know a lot more about firearms than I do, but I could not see this being a ranged weapon.
No, and I don't. It's got to be a small round, right? Like it can't be.
I would think so.
If you shoot somebody with an ice bullet in the chest, you're still getting shot with a bullet in the chest. Like it would be, oh, well, he had a heart attack and his chest exploded.
Yeah.
From the inside. It imploded as he had a heart attack.
Right.
So it has to be something like a needle almost.
Right? Yeah, that's the only thing that fucking makes sense.
Because it does. It says it leaves a little red dot.
And the accuracy, like the only way that would work is if you held it against somebody's chest and pulled the trigger.
Exactly. You're walking through a crowd of people, and then the guy hails a cab, and you stick it in his armpit, and then keep walking, and he's like, ow, ow, and falls over, and you're like, oh, that dude had a heart attack. Fucking breathe through your nose, bro. Now everyone would just film you on their camera anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Oh boy, they're saying that that fucking, what was his name? The Honorable what? Saying that dude was killed by a.
They're saying there was a bunch of, like, every time, basically, that you heard of someone important dying of a heart attack was the CIA sniping him with this thing.
Fuck, maybe it's true. I don't know, or maybe that 400-pound obese man that clearly doesn't take care of himself just fucking died. I don't know.
I was also thinking, what if they admitted to this, but it wasn't true? Like it looks like what in 1911.
That's possible too.
I'd have to look at it again.
1911.
But what if they just like strapped some bullshit power pack onto a 1911 and had some guy go before Congress and be like, this is a nice gun, shoots ice bullets, doesn't leave a mark, gives people heart attacks. Every bad person had a heart attack, CIA killed. And then they put it away, and they're like, nobody's going to believe that. And then everyone believed it.
Yeah.
So now everyone thinks that we have CIA operatives that can just give you a heart attack.
So this opens up a whole nother realm of conspiracy theories that were proven correct, but they're fucking not true at all. Like
that's the South Park episode, right?
Is it?
Oh yeah, when they think they figure out 9/11 and President Bush is like, oops, and drops like the classified packet on the ground, because he's like, and they give the explanation. They're like, there's most people that will believe everything that we tell them, and then there's a group of crazy people that don't, and they need to believe that the government is so powerful and organized that it could pull off these elaborate things so that they don't constantly try to overthrow the government. Like,
yeah,
he's like, oh, we could never do this.
That
so
gun,
it's just control.
There's no motherfucking way that could work, dude. There's no way. Unless like we said, and unless it's like a fucking literal point blank, and it injects something, but that doesn't. How does it keep it cold?
I don't know.
It's a crock of shit, man. This fucking, and it's got a scope on it. Get the fuck out of town. They're like, well, we have to go fucking show this thing to people. Like, well, that just looks like a 1911.
You just look, there's
here,
something snickering in the background.
Put this on it.
The doctor's like, it shoots ice bullet, and it killed it. No,
yeah.
God damn it, Steve, shut the fuck up. And he's like, fucking ice bullet.
The fucking scope's probably backwards, too.
It's better if everything is smaller when you look through the scope.
Let's be more accurate.
Small, man.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, that concludes the things that were true, and we kind of ended on one that I don't believe, but it's supposedly true. Starting off, I want to go to the two controversial falsers, and then we'll get into something fun.
Sure.
But for false conspiracy theories, these are things that have been proven false. Now, I'm going to tell you the first one, and then you're going to get real mad, and then you're going to send me hate mail. But jet fuel can't melt steel beams is put around the internet all of the time. And people give math to support it. which normally means, one, it means that nobody will check it if you put numbers. But
Yep. Yeah.
these numbers have been checked, and they are true. So this part of the theory, conspiracy theory, is right. Jet fuel burns at approximately 1,500 degrees, and steel's melting point to liquid is 2,800 degrees Fahrenheit. No way that you're going to get a 1,300 degree variation to collapse a building. To disprove this, don't look at math. Don't try to reason with the fact of the 1,500 to 2,800 degree. What I did was got to watch a blacksmith, a guy that works with metal every day of his life, prove that it only takes 1,500 degrees to collapse structured steel. What he shows you is that, yes, 2,800 degrees, a steel beam becomes a puddle of liquid metal.
Mm-hmm.
But as you've welded, I've welded, the point at which metal becomes pliable
That's way
is
different.
very different.
Yeah.
So what he does is takes a piece of structured steel. He takes it cold, sticks it in an anvil. The anvil weighs 210 pounds. He grabs the top of it. He peels it back. The bar does not bend whatsoever, and it lifts the 210-pound anvil directly off the floor. Not so much as a bow in it. He then takes that piece of steel and he sticks it in an oven and he brings it up to 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit, nearly identical to the burning point of jet fuel.
Mm-hmm.
He then sticks that rod, hits it on the ground, tink, tink. It's still metal. It's still hard. Glowing red, though. Sticks it inside the same hole, and then with one pinky, grabs the rod and folds it over like a fucking piece of bubble gum. Whop. Takes it the other way. Whop. And just folds it all around. It's true that you would require 2,800 degrees to
Liquefy a building.
liquefy it. But it would take far less than that, and within the realm of jet fuel, to turn them into spaghetti. I mean, just absolutely, it would just become, there'd be nothing there.
With that much weight, too, you wouldn't even need...
Nope. You wouldn't need any of it. And now, again, we're not going over the whole 9/11 theory here.
No,
because,
yep, no,
God
not
damn it.
even.
But that
not
is,
touching that with a
that's
50-foot
the one
pole.
thing that that gets thrown around. Like, you can't melt steel beams with jet fuel.
There's some good ass comics on the internet that have that as a premise. That fucking that one that little girl's wishing that her pony talked, and then the first thing that the pony says to her is like, "Jet fuel doesn't burn steel beams, Samantha." Some shit like that. It's fucking funny.
Yeah, it's probably the most loudly shouted fact,
Mm-hmm.
in quotations, for it being rigged, and let alone the fact that what they think did it also doesn't burn that hot, but then they made a super version. Have you seen that? Where they said it had to have been super thermite that did it. Actually gave it a name. That doesn't exist. So they are under the impression that they could have made a stronger version of something that does exist that is more probable than something that does exist having actually caused it. And that's what goes into the realm of you can't disprove a conspiracy theory. You can only prove it true. Because if you disprove it, it just falls into the realm of...
It's still just a conspiracy theory.
It could have also been aliens.
They're immortal. How fucking terrifying is that?
What? Oh, yeah.
The fucking conspiracy theories are.
Yeah. I was like, what's immortal? Tell me more. Do you know something? So anyways, that's it. 1,800 degrees. It's steel is as pliable as a wet noodle. I mean, just... This guy takes a pinky and just folds it over. So...
Can you imagine the fucking chaos if those buildings melted to liquid? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they used something that would melt under
Flash melt.
1,500 degree temperatures to build a fucking building? Like, That would be fucking insane to see. Like, the building collapses and a metal fucking wave of death and molten steel just goes blowing down the streets of New York.
You're done with just a flattened quarter.
Yeah.
They just scoop it up. They got to bring in a giant spatula, and they're like, oh shit. Put it in the Hudson.
just sideways like a fucking frisbee dug into the ground.
Oh, God. Never forget.
Sorry, not trying to make light of something terrible that happened, but
yes.
a building that turned into water.
No, dude. The point is to fucking make light of it. Yeah, I mean that. Anthony Jeselnik is one of my favorite comedians for that because what's his saying is that there's nothing considered too soon because they said think of the victims, and he said victims aren't listening to my Twitter page on the day of a catastrophe. They've got victim shit to do. Because he said all of it's aimed at the people that change their fucking Facebook flag to something,
no doubt.
And they're like, oh, and his quote was, "I know there's something terrible happening, but don't forget about me."
Right. I fucking totally agree with that. Like when that people change, like you said, the flags and stuff. But I just mean the victims of 9/11 aren't doing victim shit right now.
Not anymore. Yeah. It's actually probably
they have
worse.
spare time right now.
It is probably worse to wait than it is to do it immediately. Like everyone thinks what is comedy is tragedy plus time, right? That's
gotcha.
That's the thing.
That's the equation.
Yeah. So I believe that it may be worse because, like he says, they've got victim shit to do on the first day, but now they're like, all right, you know what? I'm ready. And they turn their computer back on and they're like, fucking 9/11.
They're
like,
still going.
No. So yeah, it's probably not acceptable for them even later than it would be the day of. Either way, continuing on with the only other 9/11 thing that we got on here, which doesn't have to do with the Twin Towers at all, was Flight 93 that went down in Virginia.
Is that the one that they...
Pennsylvania, right?
I think it was Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Yeah, headed for. So it went down in Pennsylvania, and the conspiracy theory on this is that the crater left by the impact of the plane was not sufficient for the size aircraft. The other thing was that there was no wreckage found or bodies. These are posted all over the internet. They just weren't found. It turns out that this one is just not true at all. That there was 98% of the plane was found and pieced together during the investigation.
So what the fuck is this based on then?
It's literally somebody throwing something out there and it getting passed around and retweeted so many times that it's now looked at as fact, and nobody even decides to go click and look. That you can see images from the day of and the problem was the debris was so small, and I wanted to know why that was, because you could see a plane crash where almost all of it's there, and why wasn't this like that? Why was this like a garbage field? There was dozens of eyewitnesses that saw this thing come down. And it came down at such a high rate of speed and the clarity of it that they said all the reports listed it between 85 and 90 degrees headed to the ground. This thing was basically perpendicular to the earth when it struck. They nose-bombed it into the ground.
Oh, wow.
So instead of a normal crash, your pilot is doing everything he can to keep it level. And you're going to try to skitter on in there. These guys torpedoed it straight into the earth, hitting nose first, dead into the ground. They turned it into a torpedo. This thing no longer is going to be an airplane. There's not going to be anything reconcilable. This thing is going so fucking fast. So fast.
Yeah, dude. So did
I
it
mean,
just fucking disintegrate when it hit the ground?
it didn't
or...
disintegrate. The pieces were all accounted for, but the pieces were teeny tiny. So most sections being 3 or 4 feet wide at the largest, and then there being a ton of just small debris. But once it was all gathered together, there was estimated between 95 and 98% of the plane mass for mass
Gotcha. Yeah. Just
collected.
putting it on a scale. Gotcha.
Yep. So to say that they didn't come up with anything, they came up with it. It was just horrific. The other thing was that there was 37 confirmed phone calls from that flight made. People turned their cell phones back on and started making frantic calls to people.
How?
What do you mean how?
Like, how are they calling people from their cell phones?
Before the crash, like when they started trying to take over, people started turning their phones back on. This is the time when you couldn't do it. These aren't smartphones, but there was 37 calls from phones of victims on that flight trying to call out, but probably to say goodbye. I mean, it's pretty depressing, but
what if the one guy was like, turn on the news, fucking check this shit out? What if the pilot said that?
Ooh, hey, I'm on TV. What? And then doom. Hey, I like that guy. That guy's a glass half full.
What if he was just a cocksucker and he was like that piece of shit French pilot that decided to kill himself, but decided to kill himself when he was flying a fucking 747 full of people?
This one, air traffic control has got the voices of the Arabian Nights coming across, and people hysterically panicking. It's actually horrific to think about, but
yeah, it's fucking awful.
The big deal on this was that if the reasons why it wasn't true, which is people think it was a malfunctioning missile, you can see driver's licenses and like credit cards and shit in the wreckage.
Oh, really?
Like there was belongings found in there. Luggage might not have made it, but like they were opening up burnt wallets and finding people's IDs. They ID'd 93%, I think it was. Don't quote me on the percentage on that one, but it was very high for the percentage of people that were identified, to include the hijackers were positively ID'd with dental.
Gotcha. What if the CIA actually made like an identity theft bomb, and they fired the bomb into Pennsylvania and it exploded and shot wallets and fucking credit cards everywhere, so people would like run and steal people's identities?
Then they gay bombed it, so they all started scissoring and sucking each other off, so they didn't know what was happening.
Yeah. Right.
I like that they thought that a gay bomb would just make them fuck uncontrollably where they couldn't fight a war. Like, beyond the fact that you think you can make a bomb that would make people gay, you also thought that gays can't get anything done because they're always
too busy fucking. Yep.
That's hilarious. Like, if we make them gay, they can't fight a war. Like, and
that's that shit, man.
Yep.
That's
and 94. This isn't the fucking 50s. This is 1994.
I was 8. It's terrible. It's disgusting to know that I was alive when. Yeah.
And we'll wrap this up with just a couple more here. The moon landing. It happened.
Did it though?
It fucking happened. God damn it. Okay, so I'll elaborate just slightly on this one. The deal with the moon landing, that the section that I picked up just for the disapproval here, again, kind of like the 9/11 thing, is you just can't. There's too many heads to that snake. So one of the big ones is there's no stars in the sky. And we've talked about it before on here, and the fact that the exposure to sunlight was too great to allow any stars to ever be visible. And this can be seen even today, no matter how advanced our cameras get, that if you blot out the sun and then take the picture, all of the stars become apparent. And if you allow that sun to hit something so you can take a picture of it, you have now blotted out all the stars.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are sources of light. People tend to forget that all we're seeing is a source of light from the star.
I don't think they can understand that since the sky isn't blue, you can't see the light.
the refraction of light, that where everything becomes illuminated.
Yeah.
And that is because of our atmosphere. But the drowning of single points of light
Mm-hmm.
basically get destroyed. And that is one of the craziest things, is that people scream like, if, dude, you think they would have forgot the fucking stars?
I mean, if anything, right? It would be coming up right now. If there were stars in the pictures, it would be coming up right now of somebody
Right.
saying, "Well, that's fake because you can't see stars." And then all of us would be like, "Fuck you, man, that shit's fake." Or "Fuck you, man, that shit's real." So it's like I don't know. I have a hard time believing that from the moon you can't see stars while the sun is up. Like it seems odd to me.
I don't know about seeing it.
I believe that the moon landing happened. So let me clarify that right fucking now.
I don't know about you seeing it. What their problem is the exposure of the camera. That to get the image to not be like blinding white, because the sun has nothing to slow it down. You're just getting a bag of dicks full of radiation. That you to expose that down to where you can see you standing there, you've now blotted out the background too much.
I mean, I guess it makes sense.
So Neil deGrasse Tyson does a very good job, actually, on a very old Joe Rogan podcast, of simplifying why you can't see stars.
Right on.
And just making an entire mockery of the moon landing.
I thought
Like,
that was funny in
the
Interstellar.
the amount of jet fuel used, which has been all noted. Now we've gone back to the moon, that's the other concern. It's like, why haven't we gone back? We've gone back. I mean, we've gone back
a lot of times.
a bunch of times.
Yeah.
China's there right now. Like, people go back. If they faked it, they did an excellent job of getting the exact amount of fuel consumption exactly right. So it's like they either wasted a ton of fuel, or there was all these other small things. Anyway, if you wanna look that up, he really does a good job of making
Hell
you
yeah.
feel dumb.
Right on.
That's what he does. So the last two things I wanted to talk about today were psychics, and then something that's not really a conspiracy theory, but the tech support scams from India. We'll leave that as like a tech tip of the day. But this one would be the last. Like, it's kind of conspiracy theory. Like I said, you got to really reach to find something that has been proven false, because it's fucking hard. James Van Praagh was a very famous psychic back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
And he's basically been replaced today by that Caputo chick, the Long Island medium.
Caputo. I gotta look. Long Island medium?
Yeah, it's that chick with the crazy big blonde hair.
Oh, Teresa
got that-
Caputo.
Yeah, she's got that TLC show, or had it. I don't know. I think she got ousted and now doesn't have it anymore. But these guys do what's called cold calling, cold readings.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
people. Well, she got famous because nowadays they can just
Oh, I remember this motherfucker.
edit you together. He got outed because he had to go do live television to promote himself.
Why
And
wouldn't
when
you
he-
just say no?
When he fails, he thought he was better at it. So we'll start with James Van Praagh. James Van Praagh was a psychic medium who started his young life as an actor. He grew up doing theater. He moved to Hollywood. He worked for Paramount. He could not land a real gig, and he finally found a gig, and his gig was being a medium. And what he did was and he now became the gold standard of what all of these crooks do, and that's where they go to a group of people.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep. And then they just find a big group of people, and they say, I'm seeing a problem with, I'm seeing a man with leg problems. There was who's feeling this? A leg? maybe it's one leg. Is someone with a leg or an ankle or Jimmy had an ankle problem, and someone latches on, and then they know, and now they just go and they do this very vague, fast talk back and forth until they hit something. They will tell you 5 wrong things, but they generalize it so you think that they're just honing in.
Yeah.
She does it. He did it. What seemed very well. If you ever want to feel just like you do your job better than anyone else, like if you're like, dude, I'm bad at my job. You're not as bad at your job as these people are. You go watch them fail. Watch this prog dude just have some lady straight face her and go, nope, nobody played the piano. Nobody had any bad legs. Just she won't give him anything. So he goes, who's feeling this? Who's dude? And then some lady grasps onto something, and then as soon as he hones in on her, she shuts down and won't give him anything that's not exact. I'm hearing a Kathy or a Kathleen or a Catherine or a Katie or a Carmen and he just keeps and she's just nope, nothing. Just dead.
What's his excuse for that?
He eventually goes, you must not be the right one, and then moves on to someone that's going, I've got a Kathy. And he's like, I've lost it. It must have been you. And then he goes to someone else. That's what they do. And it's if you're not grief stricken with the loss of someone, you're not going to be at this place anyways.
Right.
Like
If you're not already like vulnerable.
Right. And then so that kind of went away, especially for the really big famous ones, until this Caputo chick came along. And holy shit, people took her as gospel. But when you watch her fail during her live ones, the ones that don't make it to TLC, it is internet gold. People just like they just blank
just
face
shut
like
her down.
Nothing ever. And then she covers her face and she gets all crazy and she backs up and then she moves on to somebody else. And it eventually, I guess, people see a couple of those and then skeptics start filling her show.
Oh, really?
Just people that just want
just want to call her out.
So her show is full of people who lost somebody until they smell blood in the water. It's full of people that have lost nobody, and they're just deadpanning her. Just nope. Both my parents still alive. My great grandparents are still alive. Like they're just fucking destroying her. So, don't believe a psychic unless she works in Cleveland, Ohio.
What? Oh, shit. Okay. That was weird, man. Maybe it's because we were a little fucked up, but
a little fucked up.
But that was weird. I just laughed through most of mine. It's like, why would you even guess that? Like, and it was all accurate, which was weird. But then, like, I don't know, looking back on it, maybe she guessed that I traveled a lot. Maybe she saw my fucking driver's license. Maybe that's one of her tactics when she asks you to pay first before the reading so she can see you open up your wallet and see your ID.
Or when it scans it gives her, it's got billing information could be on there.
Yeah, maybe. And I think I was wearing a fucking hoodie that said Colorado on it too. So, I mean, in hindsight, it's like...
They're very good at reading people, though.
Yeah. And I mean, they have a whole thing where it's just like they know where to look for just signs that they're professional liars. Like they're going.
She was good at it. I will say that you can get fooled. What was weird about her is she wasn't a medium. She was not contacting the dead. She was doing palm readings. Like it was.
Is that what you did? Was a palm reading?
Yeah,
gotcha.
I think so. I don't know. Which one did you do?
I did the tarot cards or the tarot cards or however the fuck you say that.
Oh, yeah.
Tarot? I'm fucking yelling, aren't I? Sorry. I'm talking
oh, me too.
Too loud.
Yeah. That's what I do on here. Yeah, I did the palm reading and she got me good. Cuz she said she like took a look at my hand and she was like the palm reading isn't real. I'm only getting your energy from your hand. I already know what I need to know. And like she didn't tell me like what the lifeline and all that bullshit was. And then she comes in with like, you were very sick as a small child, an infant under 1 year old, but you got past that. And I was like, I was like, I'm out. I'm out. I was like, I don't want to hear nothing else. And she was like, talking about basically my divorce was like, you've left something large behind, like decided to leave whatever this was, and but whatever you're moving on to is much greater, and then just goes, and she was like, and you're gonna die at 93, so relax. I was like, I'm out. I was like, thank you for your time. I was talking shit about you in the hall for a solid hour about how I was going to come in here and just blank face through the whole thing. And she just went nail on the head on like 5 things and then was like, see you later. Like she didn't stutter. She didn't do that. I'm seeing sickness. I'm seeing death. No, not death. Is it death? It's not death. I'm seeing health. Is it health? You've got money. You don't have money. She didn't do that, and that's how they normally do, is that bounce back and forth.
Yeah.
Dude, she straight up was like, palm reading is not real. I've just got your energy. I already know, and then just named like 5 facts. Told me I was gonna die at 93, and sent me out the door. Dude, we got downstairs and all of us are just like staring at the ground. I need a drink.
Yeah. Let's not drunk enough for that.
So, if you're that lady, you're a real psychic and you've broken the matrix.
Yeah, that was real weird.
If you can channel the dead, you're not. Especially if they do this. And that's what it's called is cold reading. And that is... It is if you'll see them do that, and it's I'm getting a vision, and I'm seeing a party, or a celebration, or a gathering, or a group, or we have a book club on Saturday night. That's it. Like they just go broad, and then they click it in until somebody bites. So those aren't real.
Stupid.
Somebody dies. Don't go to them. And the final thing for this super sweet conspiracy theory, this isn't really conspiracy theory, but it's more of a tech tip for you. Go online and watch these tech support scam guys from India. They are fantastic to watch. This guy records it all. He sets up Skype and he sets up the cast thing, like for what do you want to call it? The like we Twitch stream on, sort of. He sets up that thing and records the call, and then he sets up programs that mess with their program. It's like when they type something, it types it wrong, so he can find it, and like they'll make it look like your DOS is running something. Okay. But it's just you can hear the guy typing, and every time he types in like network, it changes it to something else. Or if he types in virus, it changes it to virus. And it's small enough that he won't notice, but the guy can freeze it and see where it was typed in or if it actually came from the computer. And another video has 2 guys pretend to be an old man and an old woman, and they call the same number several times. And every time they say, well, how much would this cost? I only have X amount of dollars. And however much is given to them as a price for the full package is always just under that. I only have $200. Well, don't worry, ma'am. This product, in fact, if I move this feature over here, it's $199. So you'll make it. And then they'll call right back, and for the same package, the guy will go, I only have $600. I can't spend any more than $600. Or, well, don't worry, sir, this package is only $540. Like, it's always just under exactly what they say.
And what are they just stealing money? Is that what they're doing? Or
they're giving you a program. They're giving you one of those PC cleaner programs. But they're saying is that they have to do it. So all it is like PC Cleaner Pro. And the guy even says it. He calls a different number, and the number at the top of the program they install is the same number for one he had already called. So there was like 3 companies,
Mm-hmm.
but the program was the same program with the same customer support number at the top for all 3
Oh,
companies.
okay.
So you're calling the same people every day, even though they got different. Like you call the other number, and when he puts the program on there, it says, he goes, well, it says at the top this number, and that's the number I called yesterday for a different company, and the guy just blows it off. And then when they call him on it, when they're like, well, here's what you did. Your program shows these processes, and he reads off the processes, and he says these are all normal window processes that can be found on any computer that's running. And then your program took those processes and put a little error symbol next to them so you could read them off to me and tell me that they were a virus. And the guy was like, well, if you knew all this, then why did you call me, you fucking asshole? And then hangs up on me. Like, they know they're scamming people. And all it is they're setting up call centers in India.
Uh-huh.
They are getting one of these cheapy PC cleaner things. And then they're running you through the gauntlet so you buy a code that they bought for $10
Yeah.
for $500.
Jesus Louise.
And they
dude.
get a ton of money. A fuck ton of money.
It's
It's
so...
the one where the guy takes over your computer for you.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah. My buddy, Mike uses that program. He's an IT guy, but he uses that. So if my shit's fucked up, then I can turn that on and he comes in and unfucks all my shit, which is nice. But I sure as shit would not trust anyone besides like actual friends to be fiddle farting around in my hard drive.
your hard drive of doom.
Yeah, I mean there's literally nothing on my hard drive. It's just not gonna. I mean, video games, unless you want some video games. But
You get off my save game, son.
that's right. There's no CD keys, so you're gonna be hard pressed for any content.
That's they use it at here at work. They got a guy that he does the same thing. He logs on and he poke around your computer. They can do it from a cell phone now. You can now bring up your desktop and a cell phone.
Did you
Poke
see
around.
fucking PewDiePie play Pokemon Go with that? He
On his computer?
yeah, he taped his cell phone to a drone, and then flew his drone out like 200 yards away from his apartment, and then opened up the remote phone control on his desktop and was able to catch Pokemon from his computer to his phone that was out looking for Pokemon. Pretty fucking stupid, but it worked.
I have to tell that to Griff because he has that program. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he can get all his text messages, make phone calls and shit from his computer. He has that on there.
Okay, that makes sense.
So he can
Yeah, that makes sense.
bring it up and type his text messages out. So we're gonna have to take one of the new guys and be like, take this phone, and I just want you to walk around. Griff can sit there and fucking
Call him
Right.
names.
You know how easy it would be to throw the Pokeballs with a mouse instead of having to flick it with my stupid finger?
Yeah, I don't know how it. I think it works as like a click and drag. So like your finger touching just becomes mouse clicking.
Right.
So like,
That's what I'm saying. How easy
yeah.
would that be to? I mean, I'm much better at a mouse than I am trying to swipe straight on my, because I always swing.
oh yeah, yeah. It's like
never-
bowling though. You got to move your
Yeah.
finger off to either side. You get sick points for throwing a curveball too. So
Hoo-hoo.
yeah.
On it. That was my conspiracy theory.
Right on, man.
Segment.
I apologize for coming in completely empty-handed.
I thought it would be fun. It's actually Melanie's idea. She really wanted us to do conspiracy theory stuff, and it probably
Certainly bring it up plenty. May as well.
yeah, and she did want us to dive off into like one real grand scheme of one, but I'd have to find a good one because I don't want it to be something that just sucks. What I'd really like to talk about would kind of be the ad guys. I heard about this on Rogan's thing, and he doesn't talk a lot about it, but there's a documentary about it, and it's kind of being bubbled up quite a bit on the internet here lately, that the same people, these aren't the same people, like the same company or the same type of people, the exact same motherfuckers that did the the smoking isn't bad for you, like there's no proof that smoking's bad for you.
Okay.
The exact same guys are hired now to do global warming just as natural effect, and it doesn't have anything to do with carbon monoxide. Same guy, both times straight facing it.
That's such a like that whole lobbyist like that position is it's so insane. I'm trying to remember some dude that we saw just the other day that was talking all sorts of crazy shit and I can't remember what he was talking about. It's incredible though, like I wonder if they believe it. Or if they're just like, you're paying me how much? Yeah, I'll say whatever you want.
Just how good do you have to be at that though, that the same dude gets hired for both? Like nobody would notice. Like you're the same dude that told us smoking was good for us, and now you're telling me that it's good to pump a bunch of emissions into the air because it really doesn't matter. Same guy did that. Okay, so they did the leaded fuel. It went smoking, leaded fuel, and then now onto this. Like it's the same dudes. It's so creepy just watching them get older but still standing there with the same stupid look in their face. Just lying to you.
Oh, tanning beds. That's what it fucking was. It was fucking tanning beds. So there's
a tanning bed lobby.
There was a lobbyist that was talking about how tanning beds don't give you cancer. And he's like, they give you vitamin D, and that shit's good for you. Like he's like, there's like YouTube videos of him like, oh man, this is great news. I'd better share it right away. So he records it from his phone and posts it on his channel. It's.
Have you seen the guy that's, what's his name? Was it Boehner? I want to say it's Boehner. Like one of them gets a whole bunch of money from them, and he shows up like orange, like they tanned his ass off. They were like, yeah, there's a lobby for tanning, but like there's a lobby for anything that's really bad for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Anything that will kill you. There's a lobbyist for that.
It's like when Peter Griffin becomes the cigarette company lobbyist.
I don't remember that.
It's a good episode. I'm not a big Family Guy fan, but that one's pretty good.
Fuck, man. Yeah, I need to look into. I need to read more about.
So maybe
JFK.
we do something with there, but hopefully you had fun with it. I do got this. I did a. If you follow Facebook shit, I finally tried one of these wallets. What are they called?
What do you got?
Mighty Wallet. So I finally used the Mighty Wallet, which is the unterrible wallet. I know you guys can't see the video, but you've got you can't tear it. It's made out of Tyvek, which is the same stuff they make chem suits out of.
Oh, okay. Let me see it.
Anyways,
You got it right there.
If you go on my Facebook page, and I'll repost it again. I got one a while back that was sent to me, and I was like, oh, well, it's really thin. I'll try it. And the thing's like folded together, but supposedly it can't come undone and expands as you put stuff in it to the garbage.
Oh, really?
They're absolute garbage. It lasted a week, and it's now so loose that I don't know if you can see that where the cards are has held its shape, but everything has mashed around it and become like so soft from getting like warped.
Yeah.
Because even though the paper part, it's made out of paper, right? But it's got plastic woven into it. It's what Tyvek is. The paper's breaking down a little bit, but it still holds its shape. So if you take it and try to open it now, it all like separate. Like all this just comes.
Oh, it's just folded together. That's so weird.
Yeah, it's just all blown out and soft, and like I try to take shit out of it, and everything falls out on the ground. I've been using
that
it
fucking
now
sucks.
for almost 2 weeks, and it's now it's completely unusable. Like I'm buying a new wallet probably tomorrow, because I mean it's if I open this thing too quick, it just does this, like take that out, and it just like that's it, like it's all.
Man, I thought those things were designed a lot better than that.
Oh, there it goes. Yep, it just popped. So now there's the fold that just let go. I can try to tuck it back in here.
I feel like they could stitch them and it would avoid.
Yeah, see now you can tuck it back in, but it's just folded together, and there's nothing
That's dumb.
binding it, so the ends slowly work themselves out and then get all mashed up. So, anyways, I said that I would use it for a little bit and then kind of report back on how it is, and they suck.
Word.
Yeah.
That's the review.
They suck. So, Mighty Wallet, you're not there yet. Maybe if you figure out a way to make it a little bit stiffer. They are thin, which is nice. Like, they don't hurt your butt. But other than that, you look like an 8-year-old with a Velcro wallet. Especially because mine's Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because you got that shit on your wallet.
Ah, I dropped my wallet and shit.
It looks like... Is this... Copyright 20... I don't know. Looks like a lot of... Why wouldn't they stitch it, though? I feel like stitches would... I don't know. I guess once you start stitching it and putting work into it, then you're going to have an expensive product that you couldn't sell for dirt cheap that just falls the fuck apart because it's paper that's folded together.
But if you do want to try one of those shitty wallets, you can use code LOOTER for $5 off an order of $30 or more.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll...
So, yep. There you go.
Product fucking sucks. Go buy one.
Your product sucks, but if you want one, go try it out. It's cool that you can't tear it, but it's Tyvek. And what's funny is most people have no idea what that is, but for whatever random reason, I'm very familiar with Tyvek because we had to wear... It's like painter suits.
Yeah.
So I had to wear them when we were doing all that coatings bullshit down there in Florida. And you can't tear it. And that's what Griff was like, well, I've torn Tyvek. Like, yeah, you can wear a hole in it, and once it starts, it goes crazy. All the fibers come out.
Yeah, no doubt.
Until it says you have 60 seconds to tear it. That's the thing. So like,
oh, okay.
But yeah, I guess if I sat here and just...
That's the trick. It's like
forever, it would eventually blow out.
just rub it on dirt.
It definitely doesn't look good after you try to tear it. Like... It's not like unterrible, and then you try, and then it just goes back to normal. Like it's all fucked up.
Right.
You try. It's not good. Oh, anyways, that's it for me, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you play No Man's Sky?
I did.
How is it? You hate it?
It's all right. No, I don't hate it. It's Minecraft with slightly better graphics. And you get to regenerate your world every time you leave it.
Gotcha.
But we can do a gaming one tomorrow or something to get really into it. The problem is, for me, that even though it's procedurally based and they gave the computer a code to go off of, that computer is going to repeat that same code every time. Like it's going to say that you're on a planet that's negative 500 degrees Celsius, and your suit's going to fail as soon as you get out. But it looks just like the planet you left that was 24 degrees Celsius.
Gotcha.
That's a problem. Like, if you land on a planet that's negative 500 degrees, I shouldn't be able to get in the fucking water. But you can. You can just go swimming. There's whales and shit. Like, it doesn't... There's no...
I gotcha.
Yeah, there's no reason for...
The effects are all like
grass,
invisible.
Yeah, like the grass to all flow in the wind when there's acid rain. Like I get that life could have developed with those circumstances, but then it wouldn't look just like the last planet. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they patch it up and add to it, and then I think it'll be great because it's really cool that you get to discover languages and land on new worlds and mine for stuff. It is Minecraft. I mean, you're building shit for your ship. You're upgrading and get to collect more stuff. It's a lot of fun. I've already got like 12 hours in the game. Like, I like it.
Nice.
But it all pretty much looks the same.
That's shitty. It looks. I mean, they're already planning. At like the next not expansion, but the next upgrade for it is supposedly going to have base building and freighter ships, so you can haul.
There you go. And I think I didn't return it. I didn't do what L. Devin did and immediately bail on it and get my money back. I almost did when it crashed on me, but I got those settings fixed, and I haven't had any trouble since then.
Devin fucking never even played Minecraft. So like in my opinion, his opinion on this type of game, he's the last person on fucking Earth that should have bought No Man's Sky. So
There's no real point. You can literally, when you start the game and they say, do you want to play the story or not? And you can go, nope, and then just wander the cosmos. Or you can follow the story. And I beat the game in 30 hours. Sure. If you mainline it and you just get enough resources to make what you need and you don't upgrade anything and you just Atlas, you're going to get somewhere and the guy's going to say, would you like to continue on the Atlas path? Would you like to go free roam? Or would you like me to give you a way to jump through black holes to make the center of the universe faster? And you can go, I fuck this game. I want to beat it.
Yeah, fuck this game.
Yeah, and then you can select black holes, and then you can literally just skip through the cosmos. If not, you got to do it 1 star at a time.
Okay.
Or 2. If you upgrade, you can go 2. If you upgrade, you can go 3. Like, you can jump 2 or 3 stars forward. And it's just like, oh shit, the reading game.
Oh, Eve?
Eve. So how Eve's light jump system works,
it's like homework assignment game. Like,
yeah,
you don't even read. You just fucking issue homework to your poor cocksucking pilot. You made it, man. You're a fucking space pilot. Now read this book for eternity, and I'll be back. Maybe.
I'll be back to play the game.
Yeah.
So you just, if you follow the storyline, it tells you what ways to jump.
Okay.
So someone that they're bitching about this game just followed the lines and went as fast as they could. And when they got to the guy and asked him whether he wants to continue or he wants to free roam, or if he wants to learn how to jump through fucking space and time, he went space and time. And then he ended the game probably 10 hours later, if that.
You can't take opportunities like that and then wonder why it went so quickly. That's fucking stupid. It looks rad. I mean, I
wanted to dig more into the story, so I took the path that just let me keep going along the Atlas way, because then you can upgrade keys and different stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna fucking jump off into another goddamn gaming episode.
Yeah.
If we don't stop it.
It's rad though. I like there's a little bipedal turtle looking bastard that's on Steam's preview screenshots for it, and I don't know. I want to go
There's a bunch of
shoot one and then pet another one and see what happens when either happens. A bunch
of beak bastards. You can disintegrate the creatures, but not the aliens that talk to you.
Oh,
you can't hurt
okay.
them. You can piss them off and they won't trade with you, but you can't kill them. But just the random monsters.
Yeah, civilizations you can't attack, but the little creatures you can lay waste.
And it's cool. I mean, it's cool how they do, like, you're going to walk in and it goes RPG style. The guys all look the same and they don't really talk to you. They just
Gotcha.
And then it says something, and if you know their language, you can read it, and if you don't, it's gibberish.
Right on.
And
that
then it'll give you
cool.
Yeah, it'll give you like when you walk in, the creature seems distraught and hurriedly shuts off his computer. Looking around, you realize that the vaults have been pried open. What do you do? And it's turn him into the authorities, or try to get half of his shit, or try to intimidate him into taking all of his shit. And if you choose wrong, you lose a bunch of health. If you choose right, you might get half his stuff. And if you turn him in, then your standing with the Galactic Empire fucking goes up.
Gotcha. Right on. Yeah, we'll fucking have to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Podbean, horribleinfluence.podme.com.
Google
Horrible
Play.
Influence on Facebook, Google Play, iTunes, crowdfunding.
The internet.
Anything else.
Meet us on the
internet. Google us on the internet.
Twatter.
Oh, get on Twatter. Yeah, get him on Twitter, man. At Herbinfer, something like that.
HORBLE_INFLUNCE.
I think there's an E at the end of the second one, but no E at the end of
Fuck.
horrible. I think
Okay,
it's
is
just
that what it is?
HORBL.
Man.
Anyways, horrible influence on Twitter, and hit us up, man. What do you got for future episodes? What have you seen that you want to hear about? And we'll do the show.
Hell yeah.
All right, everybody. Bye.
Bye.